sponsor, Maximus Nutrition. Are you ready to elevate your workout or exercise performances? Hop on over to their 2 locations. There is one on Sunset Drive. The other is over on Knickerbocker for all of your top-tier supplement and protein needs. Hello. Welcome back to Everything and the Gym. You are currently listening to episode 5 of season 4, and this one is a long time coming. I have been fishing for this person since season 2. What is your name?
My name is Gino.
And how old are you?
Ooh, really old. 35 this year.
35?
Yeah.
Do you feel old?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
My body feels old.
Oh, I can't wait to dig into that. Before we dig in a little deeper, I have to shout out our first sponsors, TFGU and Orange Theory. Thank you for sponsoring us, and let's get back to it.
All right.
Okay, so I asked you before we said this, before we started this, but I'm going to ask you again, what do you do?
So I'm currently active duty Navy. I've been doing that for 16 years, and I'm a cryptologic technician, which probably no one's going to know what that is, but I do nerdy stuff on a computer. Mm-hmm. And I teach other nerds how to do nerdy stuff on computers right now.
Yes, and you train people.
Yes, I also am a professional natural bodybuilder. I run a coaching business where I train lifestyle clients and other competitors. Which takes up the rest of my time.
Yeah. You are really good at what you do, though.
Thank you.
I know a lot of people that work out around us, and all of them respect the way you work out and how you work out and the things you've been through.
That's awesome. That's good to hear.
Yes. So let's hop into, has fitness been a part of your life from like the very beginning? Were you active from a kid?
Pretty much, yeah. So I played sports growing up like most boys do. Mm-hmm. And I joined the military pretty much right after high school. And through like basic training, and then you go to all these other schools, fitness is like obviously very emphasized. And so I always worked out, but it was for just because of sports. I never worked out with the intent of getting fit. It was just to get better at sports. Mm-hmm. And I realized during that phase of training that I really liked the process of getting fit. So yeah, then I pretty much never turned back from there.
Yeah. Okay, so what, like you get into the Navy, mm-hmm. and then what is your like first venture into like, besides basic training, like into fitness, what was that like lifestyle?
So I started out, I was young. I was like 18 years old. I didn't really know what I was doing. Once I got out of basic, I was just doing what I thought was good. And this older guy, Gregor Park, kind of mentored me and asked me like, it's going to turn into a meme, but like, have you ever heard of CrossFit? Right? And this was back in the day because I'm ancient. So it was when CrossFit was still up and coming and not a lot of people knew about it. I said, no, I've never heard of CrossFit. So he said, do you want to come to my gym and do a workout with us? So I said, sure. And I showed up and I thought, I'm 18. I think I'm fit and strong. And I go in there all cocky and they're like, hey, we're just going to do this, and this, and it's going to be timed. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then they just smoked me. And at that point in my life, that was not something that happened often. And I was like intrigued by it. Like, what do you guys do that you can just do this much stuff? Like, it's insane. And I didn't want to lose again. So I kept going and going and going and going. And then I got really good and they asked if I wanted to compete. So then I started competing. And CrossFit was like the first thing in the fitness community that really brought me in, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did CrossFit in a way change like your whole perspective on fitness and life?
Yeah, for sure. In so many ways.
Can you elaborate on some of those?
Oh man, it kind of goes hand in hand with the military, where some of the stuff we have to do is really hard. It's hard work, long days. CrossFit at the time was this like new thing, but I was really new to the military too. And so just like here we are 16 years later, I do the same thing. I work out before work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would go in and I would do these insane workouts that were like unrealistically hard to me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'd go to work and it'd be a long day or a hard day and we'd have to do this, but it didn't seem as hard compared to what I did at like 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely changed my perspective on like what is hard work? Like what is something that's hard to do? Why is it hard?
Mm-hmm.
These workouts were just is way more than just physical. It's like mentally very demanding.
Can you name some of the things you were doing during these workouts?
So I remember the very first workout that I just got destroyed at. And so it was 185-pound deadlifts for like 20 reps, which really wasn't a lot. Then you would do 10 burpee box jumps, which at the time I had no idea what that was. It sounded like a snack or something. So come to find out, it is not a snack.
No, they're hard.
And then 500-meter row and 20 pull-ups. And it was 5 rounds of that. And I just knew how to do normal pull-ups, not the CrossFit pull-ups that most people know nowadays. But that was like a pretty typical workout. That was the first one. It was 5 rounds of that as fast as you could through.
How fast did you progress? Like, when did those kind of workouts start getting easier for you?
The thing about CrossFit is the more fit and the stronger you get, the harder the workouts become because you can push that much harder. So that was my mindset. What you just asked was like, when are these going to get easier, you know?
Yeah.
And I found out that they actually just get harder.
Yeah.
So the movements, though, they get easier. And maybe a few months is kind of when it started clicking. And once I think I beat Gregor in my first workout ever, which took about a year or so.
Yeah.
That's really when like it skyrocketed for me.
Okay, so CrossFit led you to an injury.
It did.
Yes.
I don't even know where to start with that one. So it started with CrossFit. I fell on a deployment and I fractured my neck. And then when I got back from the deployment, I kept CrossFitting and I would get these crazy pains shooting through my spine and my one side of my body would tingle and go numb. And I didn't know at the time what was going on. And in the military, it's kind of hard sometimes to get referrals to specialty care and MRIs. And so I hadn't got one at this point in time yet. And I had a snowboarding trip and I had a big accident at the snowboarding trip where I was coming down the mountain and it was very late and I was coming down the backside of the mountain. So it wasn't part of the mountain range. So it wasn't well lit. I was with a bunch of locals who knew the mountain like the back of their hand. And I was my first time ever there. It was at Mount Hood. And yeah, I hit a little kind of kicker ramp thing that I didn't know was there. And I went airborne and I was falling down the mountain with my back going down. And I wrapped around a tree. My snowboard wrapped around, hit me in the head, knocked me out. So I had a little bit of brain damage from it. And then I blew out 4 of my discs and caved in part of my spinal wall. And yeah.
What was so you have this injury. What was like the doctors telling you?
So when I finally got back to Tripler Army Medical Center, it's like a hospital for wounded vets and stuff. It's in Hawaii, which is where I was stationed at the time. It was kind of mixed opinions. I had like a neurosurgeon, my normal doctor, 2 pain management doctors. And so they ended up going in, cutting those discs out, hollowing out part of my spinal wall. And when they did that, they think they clipped one of the nerves. I think it was my S1 nerve. And so my right leg was pretty much numb. I could feel pain inside. I just couldn't use it. It's like the worst of both. And my main pain management doctor, Dr. Nguyen, he was awesome, but he basically told me that I had so much muscle built around my lumbar that when the injury occurred, it just locked up and it tightened up around everything. And where the 4 parts of my discs blew out, that it likely would have like paralyzed me forever if I didn't have that much muscle tighten up around it. And so he was very interested in getting me back moving and doing strengthening exercises. And my neurosurgeon and my primary doctor were less enthused about that idea and thought I just needed to rest and recover and take medications. And they had me on a morphine drip for a really long time. And I had to live at the hospital for a while. So, yeah.
So does that journey wear on you mentally? Like with that whole injury, were you going like mentally?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even now, I just had, as you know, another 2 spinal surgeries in June. And it was a little easier to recover that time. Obviously, I'm here and sitting and walking and driving. But initially with the first one, it was hard because I was living in a hospital, so I didn't really see anybody that I knew, and I couldn't go anywhere, and I didn't have anything to do. And 2 of my team of doctors were kind of telling me, like, you'll probably never really walk or run or lift. And since I can remember, that's all I did. So I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah. So what was it like whenever you first were able to like start walking and whatnot? Were you like excited to just be doing that, or were you like, okay, where's more? Like, am I going to be able to do more?
So it was almost a decision. So the first few months I was like throwing a pity party, and as anyone would, you know. And so I started researching how people recovered from things like this before. I figured surely someone's had similar injuries and has recovered. And so there's nothing to do at the hospital all day. So I just researched and read and read and read and read. And kind of what I do in the Navy has a large portion to do with data analytics, like taking large chunks of data, breaking them down. So that's kind of what I did. And so I came up with like my own plan. And the next day I was looking at my foot and I started moving it, just trying to. And that's how I was like, okay, we're going to be good. I can move my foot. So it was almost a decision that one day I was like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah. Like you evolved just a little bit, enough to like help you get to that point. Definitely. So was it nerve-wracking to be like working out for the first time after that injury? Like your first actual workout?
Well, I'm a mess. My very first workout after I got dismissed from the hospital, I tore my Achilles.
The first time?
The very first
workout. Oh
workout.
my goodness.
My friend AJ had to wheel me back. He was my roommate at the time. He had to go get a skateboard and wheel me back to our house on a skateboard because I completely popped my Achilles. I wasn't thinking about it. I hadn't walked or moved. I could barely move my foot. It had been over a year since I'd really done anything.
Yeah.
And so we decided we were going to go running, and I felt okay. My back felt good. So I figured I would do some light jogging and then a little sprint, and some light jogging and then a sprint, which was not a good idea. Yeah. And so I ended up back in the same emergency room that they admitted me initially, and with my same doctors. It was literally the day after that they dismissed me and said, okay, go ahead, do your thing. And so, yeah, the first workout after that, though, I was just very cautious.
Yeah.
I wasn't cautious the first time. I wasn't nervous. There was no, I was just ready to get it.
Did you have to stay in the hospital for your Achilles too?
Oh, like 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
It wasn't nowhere near as bad.
Yeah. Okay.
I have some crazy pictures of me in this like giant leg boot doing leg extensions with my leg boot though, like a week after.
You should send me that.
Oh, they're embarrassing. I'll send them. They're funny though.
Okay, so injury. How do we go from these to bodybuilding?
So my physical therapist was a bodybuilder. And so after my Achilles was good and I was up and moving again, they sent me to a physical therapy. It was a neuro rehabilitation program, but same thing as physical therapy as far as like what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of, have you ever heard of bodybuilding? And like, I kind of, it's similar to the CrossFit thing, but I was like, yeah, like I know it, but it's weird. Like you take your clothes off and oil up on stage with a bunch of other dudes, like not really for me. And so he did a lot of bodybuilding exercises in our physical therapy, and it was fun and I enjoyed it. And he just kept pushing me, like, you need to try bodybuilding. You need to try bodybuilding for years. I was in that same program with him for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew there was like a division where you didn't have to wear the weird Speedos and stuff, you know? At the time, that's what I thought it was. And just eventually, I decided if I can't CrossFit anymore, because that's what I wanted to do, it just wasn't in the cards. So I just said, I had to compete for something. Like I couldn't just work out to work out. It's weird for me. So I just said, what the heck, I'll try a show.
So did that, okay, so we talked about like CrossFit changing your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Did bodybuilding change your perspective and mindset in a way? Restraint.
Yeah. Bodybuilding is very methodical, and there's times where you have to pull back on things, and that's not something I was used to ever doing. CrossFit's kind of just, you go as hard as you can every time you go, and pretty much it. In bodybuilding, it's almost like it's like a painting. Like you're chiseling this painting and you can't just go crazy on it all the time because it's not going to turn out right. So it taught me a lot of restraint.
Mm-hmm.
And
not only in the gym though, but you've also got a restraint on your nutrition.
Yeah, eating, dieting. CrossFit, you just eat as much as you can because you need it.
Yeah.
And then bodybuilding, there's all these different stages and time to eat more, eat less, do more cardio, less cardio. And so it's a lot more mentally challenging than just eating a bunch of food and training really hard, because that's fun. Most people can do that.
Yeah. But you say that. I watch you train people all the time, and you are making grown men cry.
Yeah. It's not on purpose.
This episode is powered by Maximus Nutrition in San Angelo, Texas. One is located over on Sunset Drive. The other is located on Knickerbocker. If you are serious about your performance, swing by their store for top-notch supplements and other fitness-related enhancements. Head in today and level up your fitness game. Do you currently still train like that yourself sometimes? Like,
not right now.
Not right now. Due to injury?
It may appear sometimes that I am, but at any given point, I'm like very restricted and holding back a lot.
So why do you push the people that train with you so hard?
Most people that I train, and mostly everybody really, I mean, I just care. And I want people to be their best. And most people, what you do in the gym kind of transitions to your life.
Absolutely.
And if you're, I don't want to swear here, but half button it in the gym, just made that term up. Typically, that's kind of how things traverse throughout your life, which is something that I noticed. And when my first bodybuilding show really showed me this. When you're dialed in, especially as the first thing in the morning when most of the people that I train are going, you start your day off and you are 100% dialed in, accountable for every single thing you did, every set, every movement, even your stretching, your cool downs was 100% effort, the exact way you were supposed to do it. You didn't cut any shortcuts. You walk out, and you probably know this feeling. You walk out of the gym and it's very empowering. Especially sometimes, we're done at the gym at 5 a.m. All my coworkers are still asleep. I'm showering and on my way to work. It's just a sense of empowerment, and it typically I was talking to one of my clients about this, Wade, the other day, that most things in your life will start to kind of follow that.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's it says a lot about somebody that can go in, get it done, and actually get it done instead of meandering around. And then you still have the entire day to XYZ, whatever you
You
need
do.
to do.
And I
Yeah.
think to go back to the question, sometimes I want to see who really wants it, if we're
Yeah.
being honest. Because
Yeah.
it's good to know you're training people, you're putting in time, energy, effort, emotional energy. I mean, you've seen it with people that I train. I'm very invested,
Mhm.
but I want to know at the end of the day, like who really wants to make, who's willing to make sacrifices to make those improvements in their life.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, keep doing it.
yeah,
It's fun to watch. Dio was my favorite. I'm so sad he moved.
Oh, I know. I miss him so much.
Yeah, when he was working out with you, I'd just be like, yeah, he needs it so bad.
They would sometimes hide from me if they saw me come in. They'd be behind the beams.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
still people that tell me they're like, "Dang it, Gino's here today," and I'm like, "Yeah, he is."
Oh man.
Yeah. Okay, so you are currently going through spinal injuries now. What does that like? What does your workouts look like now
For me,
for you?
a lot of warming up, a lot of stretching. I have to do a lot of like nerve flossing exercises to keep the space. There's so much scar tissue in between. So one of the things they did in the surgery is they cut portions of my disc out of my spine to clear up space on the nerve. And unfortunately, there's a bunch of scar tissue there now, and you can't just cut the scar tissue out like you do a disc. So it's almost worse in a sense. So a large portion of it has to do with setting myself up to be as pain-free as possible so that however long I have at the gym that day where I'm like in a less enough pain to work out that I can optimize that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my workouts are pretty quick, like 30, 45 minutes, and I'm just doing whatever doesn't hurt that day, really.
Is it mentally hard to know that like you're restricted when you walk in the gym?
No,
No.
it's not hard to know. It's hard to execute it
Yeah.
sometimes, especially if I'm with like a client or a workout partner or, you know how it is. You're like feeding off of each other's energy. There's times where Alan calls it my crazy eyes, where sometimes my crazy eyes will call, he's like, no, 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 don't do that. So it's hard to like keep him in sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to have people around you too that call you out.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you going to prepare for another show?
I've had that question asked to me so many times in
Yeah.
the past few months. I want to, but I want to be able to before I just say that I'm going to. So right now I have like 4 or 5 clients that have shows this year. So I might just focus on that and take the year to just relax. But it's February and I'm already starting to think about it. So
Yeah.
probably.
Okay, so what do you said if you are able to. What does that mean?
So one of the things when I first got back in the gym, this recent spinal surgery, was I gained a little bit of weight. So I was a little chunky boy, and that was hard for me. That was probably the hardest, was looking myself in the mirror and like being disgusted. I think that's the only time in my life, minus my first set of surgeries, where I was like truly disgusted by myself. And so I just started cutting and restricting calories and doing as much cardio, but my body's trying to heal. And so I'm restricting food and nutrients and then doing a bunch of movements. And so there was a couple months where I wasn't really getting better because I was too obsessed with losing the weight that I gained from the surgery. And so I'm still healing. So I can't really do a show while I'm actively healing because it's just going to be kind of counterproductive. So we'll see. We'll see.
What does prepping for a show look like? Because how many shows have you competed in?
4 or 5.
In a few of them, you've done fairly well, right?
So I won my last 3 shows, and then I won my pro card my third show in 2022.
Okay. So what does prep for you personally look like?
Yeah, so it looks very different for everyone. For me, I enjoy prep. Maybe it's being in the military for so long that the structure is almost. People who have done shows will probably say that I'm crazy for saying this, but I prefer to be on prep than to not be on prep.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not on prep, I just doesn't feel right. Like being on prep is hard, but you know what you're eating, when you're eating, what you're training for, what you're eating for, and everything's laid out in front of you.
Structured.
Yeah. But typically you'll slowly cut into the show. And the closer you get to the show, you just make little adjustments with like your water, your sodium, your carbs, and it's pretty person dependent though.
Do you feel like you learned something new to bring to the table for each of your shows?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what is the biggest lesson that bodybuilding has taught you other than like structure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, which is crazy in 2025, because most people have so many forms of instant gratification, it's absurd. And bodybuilding is the opposite. You can train an entire year and put on like a pound of tissue, of muscle tissue, and then you do this 20-week prep or however long, 20 weeks prep of just suffering and dieting and two-a-days and cardio for like 2 minutes on stage.
Yeah.
20 weeks for 2 minutes on stage. When most people get that dopamine from scrolling or doing whatever. So patience and delayed gratification was a very big lesson in bodybuilding. Anyone that's done a show, they'll probably tell you the same thing.
Does it make you nervous to go on stage?
No.
Did it in the beginning?
No.
No?
I don't really get nervous doing things I'm confident in, but also I competed in the CrossFit Games for 2 years, and there's thousands of people there. And so bodybuilding shows are big, but it's not as like in CrossFit. There's just tons of people, and everyone's watching you every move that you do. And I guess in bodybuilding it is, but there's a bunch of people up on stage with you. And but even in CrossFit, I was never really nervous. So yeah.
All right. So why is fitness important to you?
For a lot of reasons. Like I mentioned with my doctor, Dr. Nguyen was saying that my lumbar muscle, which is probably from CrossFit and the crazy deadlift workouts and cleaning and snatching, and that it locked up and it basically stabilized that part of my spine that otherwise may not have made it. And so for one, it saved in that situation, it saved my life. So that's something I often think about is being in the gym obviously increases your risk for injury. That's everyone knows that. So it's easy for the doctors to say, well, if you go back to the gym, you're increasing your risk of, breaking your back again or hurting yourself. And that can be very scary. But also, are what you getting out of it, is that more important than the risk of maybe hurting yourself? Especially if you're careful and you're showing restraint, you're doing everything properly. Maybe there's a small risk, but a very large reward in the end run. And that's kind of how I see fitness.
So do you think fitness is going to be a part of your journey until the day you die? Yeah.
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 100%.
Even if you have another injury?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would take for me not to be involved in fitness in some way. Maybe bodybuilding won't be something that I do forever, but fitness, health and fitness will for sure. Yeah.
So do you take any kind of like precautions outside of the gym? So is your diet still like detailed? Are you taking like supplements? Like, are there measures that you are taking outside that are helping your body continue to heal and grow?
Yeah, it would probably be defined as obsessive
Yeah.
how insane my routine is. If I showed a whole day, like a normal day, most people who don't live life with me would probably not think that that's something that I am doing every single day.
What does
But
that look
it's
like?
there's so much. So I also do massages and cupping, and I have all kinds of orthopedic tools. But I have a mobile massage bed, so my girlfriend Patty often we do cupping, we do different kind of massages, theragunning, all of that. I have this crazy neck harness. She loves this thing. And she makes fun of me. But you can pull your neck in all different ways in like parts of your spine, and it's just to help strengthen those parts of, your neck and your thoracic spine are still very much so a part of your spine.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime she's doing cardio and stuff for her own bodybuilding, I'm in the garage doing that. I have a red light sauna in my garage that's used probably more than anything in my house. Um, and then just every single day, hours of stretching and physical therapy, and everything that I eat has to do with anti-inflammatory. I'm on a lot of medications, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But even like I have ergonomic pillows for my bed, ergonomic couch pillows, a thing for my car, my work seat. The military gives you work seats, but I bought my own ergonomic seat and a standing desk, so it's very set up for like every ounce of success for my recovery.
Mm-hmm. How many hours a night do you sleep?
Not a lot,
No.
but I'm not chronically tired or anything, so like maybe like 5 to 6 hours a night.
It's not terrible.
No, it's not horrible.
No.
So, but I feel like energetic and I have a good system. So
Mm-hmm. All right. So how many meals a day are you eating?
right now,
Yeah.
so I eat 5,200 calories a day right now,
Woo.
but I'm bulking up. And so I just eat it in as many meals as it takes most days. I was doing where I ate the same meals, but when you're eating that much food, you get very sick of eating.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just count my macros throughout the day and I just try to hit that number.
How do you... Okay, let me ask this question because you do eat so many calories a day. How much protein are you eating a day?
275 is my daily goal.
Are you supplementing that? Are you doing shakes?
There's some protein powders and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to sustain that just eating that much food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like to ask the guys this question too because it's either a yes or a no. Do you eat vegetables?
What's crazy about this is I've been vegan for 8 years, and so technically everything is a plant, but I don't actually eat like vegetables,
Yeah.
which most people think if you're vegan, what are you eating then? But it's
Yeah,
like pasta, tempeh, tofu, rice, very dense calorie foods.
And
Especially when I'm bulking, I'll eat a single vegetable for months.
so where does the bulk of your protein come from?
Like tofu and tempeh,
Can you tell the difference? Like,
I can.
yeah.
But that's all I've been eating for like 8 years, so.
Why?
It was part of so I went vegan while I was at the hospital for my first set of injuries. And part of that research process that I was talking about, I came across a lot of plant-based medical literature about how it's extremely anti-inflammatory for your entire body. And funny story, I went cold turkey, I went completely plant-based, and then they discharged me and I went back to eating normal. And within like 2 weeks, my pain was skyrocketed back up. I was just in all kinds of pain and I was dealing with my Achilles. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll go back to plant based and see if that was the difference. And I went back and my pain levels all started coming down, my inflammation. And so as I recovered, I one single more time went back, pain shot up, went back going plant-based, and it dropped down, and that was it.
Mm.
So I just stuck it out ever since.
Can I ask you a completely random question?
Of course.
I'm curious to know, what is your grocery bill like? Because protein is so expensive, but I don't know like that compared to like vegan.
On a solid bulk, like a proper bulk right now, but also I allocate my finances to like priorities. So
Yeah.
to me, my health, my fitness is my number one priority.
Yeah.
So I don't have a budget. So if there's things that I want that are supplements or foods or drinks, I don't hold back in that aspect. So my bill can sometimes be super expensive.
Okay,
I
give me a
honestly,
number.
700 or 800 a month.
A month?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like that's about.
But I'm
what
drinking
we-
like kombucha and like think like they're expensive. Sometimes they're like $5,
Yeah.
$6 for a bottle. And
Yeah.
I also I'm not from San Angelo and I don't like the water here.
Oh yeah.
So
Nobody
I
does.
buy all my waters. So that's like a pretty hefty bill too. And like
Yeah.
I'll have like flavored waters and all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna ask a tricky question. I
Okay.
think. Maybe it won't
I
be.
like tricky questions.
What do you think the biggest misconception people have of you is?
The biggest one that I get, which is almost always when I meet new people, is that I look mean or something.
Oh.
I don't know. But I get that like in the military, I get that in the fitness community. I kind of get that everywhere. Or like when people meet me, they'll think like, yeah, I thought you were like totally different.
Yeah.
And I don't think I have RBF or anything, so I don't know.
I don't think you do either. I bet you
don't
people
know.
are telling you that because the grown men are crying next to you.
Maybe that has something to do with it. I never thought about that. That's funny.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, does your pain level with everything you've been through, does your pain level ever get to 0?
No.
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 What is like a current stand around for like a good day for you?
A good day?
Yeah.
Like a really good day, and these don't happen often, would be like a 4. If I could like chill at a 4 or something.
So on a like regular day, what is your pain level at?
Like a 6, 7, pretty average.
Spine?
Yeah. And it shoots like down my butt into my hamstring a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like a normal day.
So what is the reason for you to keep going about? Like why, like I know like you're in pain. Most people who are in pain are like, I can't do it anymore. What is like the biggest motivator for you?
I just do it. I don't have like a set reason. It's like embedded into who I am as a person. So I don't even like you wake up in the morning, you're not like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to brush my teeth today." But you do it because it's embedded into who you are and what you do. You wake up and you brush your teeth. Why do you brush your teeth in the morning?
Yeah.
You're supposed to. Your teeth are going to fall out of your face. If you don't, you're going to walk around with your breath smelling. And health and fitness is like that natural to me. I don't think about it. I don't have to find motivation to go, even if I don't want to go, because you're not always motivated to go. Especially like I was in a lot of pain this morning. I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to do at the gym, but I still went, did what I could do. But I didn't have to think about it. It wasn't really I think people overthink so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the best piece of fitness advice you could give to somebody listening right now?
The best piece of fitness advice. It's cheesy because it's like the Nike slogan, but since I can remember, I've always just do it. Just do it. If you're scared, do it scared. If you're hurt, mind you, don't hurt yourself worse, but there's always ways around whatever limitations you have. And I think that most people working with a lot of clients, and I have lifestyle clients who don't compete, so it's not just athletes that I work with. Typically, more often than not, they have some barrier that they think is impenetrable and they just can't get around it. And typically when I hear it, it seems like such an easy thing to maneuver to me. And I think, like I was saying, people think about stuff too much. And even busy clients who are like, well, I only have 30 minutes a day allocated to spare time, then do it for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If you only have 20, do it for 20. And yeah, that would be my biggest piece of advice.
Throw the excuses out the door.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah. There every day.
Yep.
Okay, so are you currently taking any new clients?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so how do people find you?
Mostly on Instagram. It's Gino_asylum. And usually everyone in San Angelo kind of knows each other. So most of my clients are from San Angelo. I have like 5 or 6 or 7 or so that are not local, but that's pretty much. It was YouTube, but that's on a slight pause right now. So
Hopefully it comes back. I've been
Yeah.
telling you for a while you need to be telling that story.
I know. You have.
Hopefully this is like a door opener.
I agree.
Okay, so do you have anything else of your story that you would like to add in?
Not really. I just, a lot of people have told me to kind of share some of those things more because I tend to not talk about those. And I just hope that people can take something from it. And yeah.
We are going to hop into our deck of cards segment, which is sponsored by TFGU and Orange Theory Fitness. Be sure to go check them out. All right. You get to pull the first card, and it is blue.
Blue card, right?
These are real life questions.
I'm nervous. Did I just grab it?
You just grab it.
Oh, man. All right. What is your greatest fear in this current time? It's going to be kind of cheesy. I've had 2 near-death experiences on airplanes, and so I don't like airplanes.
Yeah.
I think that's really probably my biggest one.
Yeah.
What is your biggest fear?
Oh, it's funny because this card has been pulled almost every single episode despite me shuffling them. I am still gonna go with vulnerability. I was recently asked, like, how are you so comfortable with, like, being vulnerable, like, on your podcast? And it's still, like, it's scary to come on here and
Do it scared.
Yeah, here's my life and here's what I'm doing, and because at least it leaves room for a lot of judgment. But
Yeah.
still scary to show up and walk through that door.
That's big, but you're doing it.
I'm doing it.
I love it.
You have to be 1% better.
100%.
1%. You grow when you step over that comfort zone. So
Do you know, like, the water saying about 111 degrees?
no.
Like, they say water, I might miss the number, but at 111 degrees, water's just water. At 112 degrees, water can start to boil and turn into steam and power giant plants and trains and all of these crazy things. And sometimes you might just be 1% away from that 112 degrees. So I like to say 1% better every day. That's what I think about.
That's a great analogy.
I think about that saying all the time. It's super cheesy, but I think about that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right. How do you feel about cardio?
I love cardio.
Yeah.
Most people hate cardio. I absolutely love it.
What is your favorite form of cardio?
You probably know this. The assault bike.
Oh, yeah. Why?
It's the hardest. It's the worst. It's the toughest.
How long do you like to go on the assault bike?
As long as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. The assault bike is horrible.
Yeah. I love cardio too, except for, like, I'm getting into running. I'm training for a high rocks, and so it's a lot of running, and that's very new to me.
Yeah.
But I love the feel you get from, like, I don't know. There's nothing better than your heart rate being spiked and you're like almost dying.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like most people don't like cardio.
Yeah, it's that comfort zone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Speaking of cardio, you better come to ride class.
I've done them. I loved them.
Yes, you have. I appreciate it. All right, green card.
Is this one for me?
Yep.
I love these colors, by the way. They're super like retro.
Thank you. They fit my vibe.
I know. What is an adventure you would like to have before you die?
Ooh.
There's a lot. Being in the Navy, I travel a lot. I've traveled around the world multiple times, been to a lot of countries, and I've never seen the Northern Lights. I know. It's probably my single most wanted sight or event to see, and I've somehow not been able to see it. And and I love the cold, I love the snow.
You would have to cross over one of your fears to do that.
I know. Unless I go there on a ship before I retire.
A ship. Okay.
It's very unlikely that'll happen, so.
Yeah, so you gotta pick one.
I know. I would fly to go see the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I hope you do it. I hope you do it soon too.
I might.
Yeah.
I retire in like 3.5 years, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe go do it.
Be thinking
then.
about it.
What's your biggest adventure?
My biggest adventure, I really want to go in a hot air balloon.
That's actually, you know what? I negate my last answer. That would be my worst fear.
Really?
You would go on a hot
I would go
air
on
balloon?
a hot air balloon.
That's insane.
I don't know. Like, we even have some here in San Angelo sometimes, and I just think, like, how cool would it be to, like, get in a hot air balloon and then, like, you can feel the wind blowing
It would
on
be
you.
mortifying.
It's better than jumping out of it. I'd never jump out of it.
Oh, I've jumped out of airplanes. I'm actually not afraid of airplanes if I have a parachute and I'm jumping out of it.
Yeah.
That's not scary. Being like locked in the plane with nowhere to go, that's scary.
So what's scary about a hot air balloon?
So I know the science and the math behind hot air balloons, and I'm not going to ruin them for you. But they're not sound.
I'm going to go Google that.
I wouldn't. Not if you plan to go. You're terrifying.
All right. What is your current state of mind?
What do you mean by that?
Like, is it a good mental day for you, or are you struggling with some things right now?
I'm grateful.
Yeah.
There's obviously things that I'm dealing with like injuries and medical stuff that's not ideal, but every day I wake up and I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Patty were talking about it last night, actually. Because both of us just stopped drinking. We didn't tell each other that neither of us wanted to drink anymore. Not that neither of us ever really drank a lot, but we just kind of stopped. And one day, it was like a few months ago, we were talking about it, and we both realized we both just decided to stop drinking. We're super happy that we both just decided that and didn't even have to be a conversation.
Yeah.
And part of that is like I just love my life and the people in my life so much that I don't want to take away from those moments. And so, yeah, my mindset's just grateful.
That's good.
Yeah.
We are going for a good vibes kind of mindset today.
Definitely.
Things are going in a good direction for me. Good. So we're riding the waves.
When is your guys' High Rocks?
We compete in 30 days now. And we actually, maybe this episode will come out right before we go. But we just did our first run through like yesterday. And so we cut the running like in half. And so the running portion of it at Crunch is 4 laps around the outside of the building. Mm-hmm. And then in between everything. And so we cut it to 2 laps around and then did all the movements, and that setup and breakdown and a bathroom break. And we got it in 1 hour.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. So we're going for another run through on Sunday, adding a lap in. And so it'll be 3 laps of running for each interval, and
just kind of titrating it up.
Yeah. And then if we feel like we need to, we'll run like the full thing, rest, and then actually compete.
Yeah, I saw your burpee broad jumps this morning.
Yeah. It's the one movement that I thought I was just like gonna absolutely hate. And
Yeah.
like when we went through like everything the first time, I did hate them.
They're kind of fun though. You get in a weird little rhythm and you're just kind of
Yeah.
floating around.
That's my thing right now with them is I like to see how far I can jump.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten over 6 foot
That's
multiple
huge.
times.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So just that little like challenge of
Yeah.
trying to hit it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've learned a lot. It's a lot of fun.
You guys are going to crush it.
Yeah. All right. Pink card.
Pink one.
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yes, you.
What does the gym or fitness mean to you? I think, like I said a little bit, it's just kind of like who I am at this point. It's like embedded into my DNA.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of who I am. Like health and fitness is such a part of my life and has been that it's just like the brushing your teeth thing. Like you wake up, you just brush your teeth. You don't really even think about brushing your teeth. You just wake up and you do it.
Yeah.
Like breathing almost. You don't have to think about breathing. You just breathe.
I don't think I could picture you not fitness. That's
I
like
don't
all
know.
I've ever known you as.
I don't know. That'd be weird for me.
Yeah. 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 Fitness for me, I think, is also like a personality almost. Like people know that like I'm in the gym all the time. But also like it's mental for me too.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not working out, like if I'm gone for a week, my mental is like
Same.
it's like a mental regulator almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like once you're able to get the endorphins and regulate like your moods, it kind of just helps the rest of the day be a little more like anchored.
I agree.
Yeah.
You like stay in the homeostasis throughout the day. You had a good workout in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best ice cream flavor and why?
Oh man. This is could start some arguments. The best ice cream flavor. That's tough.
Yeah.
I like so many weird ice cream flavors and like old people ice cream flavors.
Mhm.
Like I love pistachio ice cream
Oh yeah.
and I think that might be my favorite.
Do you get it in a cone or a cup?
So I can't remember the last time. I actually had ice cream the other day. But outside of that, I don't know when the last time I went and got ice cream somewhere.
Yeah.
But the cone's the best part.
It is.
It's the best part for sure.
Especially if it's waffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could just eat the cone over and over with the ice cream, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
What's your favorite flavor?
We pulled this question on the previous episode and I had said Superman, but I'm gonna change it to chocolate chip cookie dough because it sounds amazing.
That's
right
up
now.
there. What is Superman? That's a flavor?
It is a flavor, and I've only found it at one ice cream shop, Swenson's in Midland, and it is red, blue, and yellow. It looks kind of like crazy colors for Bluebell, but it's got like, it's vanilla and it has hints of something that I've never been able to like figure out.
Yeah, I've never even seen that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it as a kid, and then, I don't know, it's like a childhood.
You know, when you were a kid, did you guys have the colored bread?
Colored bread?
He knows. He knows. It was like swirled and like different colors, and I don't remember what it was called. I'm a little older than you, so.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, back in the day, that bread, you got that bread, life was good.
Yeah.
Life was good.
Do they still make it?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably got some crazy dyes that have been banned. Yeah.
Probably.
He's shaking his head. He's like, yeah, it's been banned, man. But delicious.
All right. Hey, Landon, how long are we going for this segment?
58 minutes.
Okay, for this segment?
Oh, for the segment?
You know.
Not entirely sure.
Okay. Anyway, let's pull through one more round.
All
So you get to do a blue card.
Blue card. If you had to lose one of your 5 senses, which sense do you prefer to lose? Dang. I think smell.
Yeah.
most of the time I'm like congested and have allergies and can barely smell anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like, people smell bad sometimes.
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
have to worry about that at the gym.
Yeah. But then that means you could smell bad and not know it.
Valid. But you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
That would suck for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think my smell. What
Mine,
about you?
it would be the same.
Pretty easy. So many
Yeah.
people are born without sense of smell too. Or
Yeah.
have like deviated septums and they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
There's people I've asked this question to, and they would like choose their eyesight or their hearing, and I think it's wild.
Yeah, I mean, without my glasses, I'm pretty blind, so I know what that's
Yeah.
like. That's a no-go for me.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah. So you like completely have to change your life around when you lose one of those.
Yeah, that'd be
Smelling,
tough.
like,
Taste would be my next one, though, only
Yeah.
for the fact that dieting would be so easy.
yeah.
You just eat whatever.
There's actually a lady at the gym who has lost her smell and her taste completely.
Was it from?
It was not from COVID.
Oh,
She had a injury,
Okay.
but she lost it, and she said it's actually a lot harder than what you think it would be.
Because I guess you never really
You
wanna
never
eat.
never taste, and you don't really want to eat because you lose the factor of
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I take it back then. Smell. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Is there anyone in the fitness community that you personally look up to, and why?
So yeah, I actually very rarely look up to other people or like have mentors and it's not for any particular reason. I'm just I like to do my own research about things and find things out my own way. And I've always been very like I don't really know why. I didn't have parents growing up and I kind of bounced around home, so I was never guided. So I lived my whole life just guiding myself.
Mm-hmm.
And but Andrew Huberman, he's a neurophysicist and he basically has a large basis of like zero cost to consumer education. He's a neurophysicist at Stanford University, but he owns his own businesses where he educates through podcasts and releasing, peer-reviewed medical journals. And so I listen to his podcasts all the time. I'll sleep with him on sometimes. He had a podcast that talking about how your body can actually subconsciously retain bits of information while you're asleep if you're listening to things. And so it's funny because then I listen to him in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably like pretty much like my main person that I would say like I look up to or in that way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know Andrew Huberman, you need it. He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's awesome. So much info.
Oh, glad that's on camera.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't have like a singled out person that I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the one.
Yeah.
Over like my fitness journey, I feel like I've collected like little traits or
Yeah, yeah.
learned things from other people around me or like even like influencers
Mhm.
type now. I can't like actually like pinpoint a bunch of them, but I just know like over time you don't know everything, and so
Right.
there's opportunity to learn from all kinds of sources. And so I think for me it's just like I have the opportunity to learn from you or I have opportunities to learn from others that like know more than I do in certain areas. And so yeah, I'm just collecting a bunch of bits from
The
a
best way
wide
to do
range.
it. That's
Yeah.
honestly the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Last card.
You got
Green.
one more? Is this one me?
Yeah.
Do you speak another language? Not a language that you speak. No.
Oh.
No.
So-
Computer language, yes.
Okay. I
But
was
that's
like,
not
what
a
is
language that you would speak.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what about you? Do you?
I don't.
Okay.
I am straight English. I wish I knew like sign language. I've always
Yeah.
thought it would be a
Yeah.
cool one to learn, but
That's fair.
have not put in the effort to do any of that.
It's a pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like hard to rewire your brain to see or like
Mhm.
hear other versions.
Especially the older we get, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to Pensacola, Florida in like 3 weeks for 6 months for a continued education course
Oh,
about,
for 6 months?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I'll be gone.
Are you excited?
No,
No.
no,
Hard to be away.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's okay. It'll be fun. It'll be good education opportunity. So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I caught you when I did.
yeah, definitely. It was good timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, that is the end of the deck of cards segment. All right, we will go into one more segment. I will ask you questions. There's 4 of them, and I ask every single person these questions. And then, yeah, we'll do final words and we're done.
All right, that's good.
All right.
Usually, if I talking about like my initial injuries and stuff, I like get super emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole way here, I was like, "Don't get all emotional. It's gonna be really weird."
Was that hard for you?
Yeah,
Yeah, to say it all.
yeah. I like
Yeah.
cut some of the stuff off because I felt it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's enough. That's good."
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
it was
Thank
just
you
a
for
weird
sharing
time
them.
for sure. Always awkward too, as like probably a guy that doesn't look like he's a crier is a crier.
Yeah.
Patty's brother just got married last Friday.
Did you
And
cry?
dude, so her younger brother was killed in a car accident like 5 or 6 years ago.
Mhm.
And so all the brothers stood up there as
Mm-hmm.
like the wedding group, and they brought her brother who died in the car accident his jersey up and put it on a chair with them. And I lost it. I was bawling my eyes out to the point where I had to take my glasses off because I was just crying so hard. And then Eleanor, Patty's oldest daughter, was like, "Is Gino crying?" And then all the girls in her family, because I was sitting with all them, like looked, and I'm just a mess. I was like, "Oh God, this is awkward."
Oh.
So yeah.
Yeah, I would not expect you to cry.
I know. Usually that's the consensus.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh, all right. You ready to get into the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. And we are back. All right. I am going to ask you 4 questions that I ask every single person that comes on here. And my first one is, what is your biggest struggle right now?
Just back pain. It's kind of a superficial answer, but everything in my life's super squared away, minus my spine,
Yeah.
which you need to function. And so just managing that is really the hardest thing. That's the only real difficult thing, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is something that you have done that you are proud of?
Like genuinely proud of, because there's
Yeah.
things I feel like people do and it's more of like they like to brag about, or it's like maybe not something that they're genuinely like proud of. But my time in San Angelo, I've been an instructor and an instructor supervisor, so I've had a lot of military students that come through the pipeline, and at the end of their course, they do an end of course review where they kind of write about their time and their experience. And I've mentored a lot of like younger sailors and like troubled sailors too, 'cause it's very diverse. People coming from all over, the country from different kinds of backgrounds, and I've had a lot of reviews talk about how much that I've helped them and mentor them, and to the point where I'm constantly in contact with like 50 students on any given week right now, and just continuing to help them and be there for them and like be, I don't know, like a person I wish I had when I was younger in the military and coming up. So that's probably something I would say I'm the most proud of.
Mm-hmm. Making a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. Trying.
Trying.
Yeah.
It's the best you can do.
Yeah. That's a big question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could give anybody honorable mention, who would you give honorable mention to and why?
Just in general?
Yeah, it could be somebody you know, it could be somebody you don't know, but somebody that you would be like, yeah, this person deserves an honorable mention.
Just as a general, I'll give one general because my girlfriend is a single mom. Single moms deserve a shout out. I didn't realize what that looked like until seeing it firsthand, and it's kind of crazy. Or single dads.
Yeah.
There's single dads out there, single parent. But yeah, it would be Patty.
Yeah. I love her so much.
She's so sweet.
Anytime I see her, I'm like, oh, we gotta go say hello.
She's the sweetest person I think I've ever met.
Yeah.
And her mom. Her mom's like the sweetest soul ever. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep doing it, Patty. Okay. My last question for you. If you could give anybody advice on life or the gym, what is the best advice you have to offer?
Easily, which keep this short. I don't want to rant here. But prior to my initial injury, I was a completely different person. Anyone that knows me now would be shocked. I was mean. I was aggressive. I was very uncompassionate and unrelenting in any way, good or bad. And I just took things really seriously. And then having that experience and kind of like going vegan too, and like learning more about animal cruelty and being more compassionate towards animals, which is nothing that ever existed in my life prior. I realized like it's not even that serious. And so I would just say, don't take things so serious. That's probably been the biggest change from then to now, which is weird. Most people that know me now know I'm like always laughing and smiling and happy, but I used to be kind of the opposite of that. So,
yeah. Did it take a lot of mental work to get there?
Yeah, probably. I don't think I knew at the time that it was. It was also experiences and living life. And the vegan thing, I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's like learning compassion for animals is how it started. And kind of just grew to other portions of my life. And then being able to take a step back and look at everything, I just realized there's so many things in our society that are very uncompassionate, and it just kind of rewired my brain. Yeah.
The world needs more kindness.
I agree.
I say that all the time.
I agree.
Okay, so is there any last bits or pieces that you want to throw in here?
Just thank you for having me. It was super fun, and the setup is amazing.
Thank you.
I've been watching all the videos, and your team does an amazing job. So I'm just glad that I got to be here and share this with you.
You have no idea how much it means to me that you showed up.
Thank you. And thank you you've been telling me for a while I need to talk about stuff. So
yeah,
I appreciate that.
I think you have a great story, and I think you have a lot of life to live.
Thank you.
Yeah. A huge thanks to Maximus Nutrition in San Angelo, Texas for sponsoring this episode. Make sure you hop over there if you are looking to fill your performance game. They can help you with supplements, shakes, proteins, you name it. They have it and they are ready to answer your questions. So if you're looking to step up that game, Maximus Nutrition is your spot to shop. All right, you guys, make sure you download, like, and subscribe. Make sure you're interacting with all of our stuff too. It helps us out more than you know. Also, thank you again to TFGU and Orange Theory for sponsoring this episode. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And have a beautiful day, friends. Bye.